The Manitoba Agricultural Museum has one of the largest collections of farm machinery in all of North America. These prairie giants help shape the landscape as we know it today. So why don't you join me as we visit the Manitoba Agricultural Museum in Austin. We're headed just south of the town of Austin to visit the Manitoba Agricultural Museum. Situated on 80 acres of land, this property houses a collection of prairie artifacts that is truly unrivaled anywhere else in Canada. Agriculture has long been the lifeblood of our region, but as more and more people move to urban centers, the relics of the past will continue to dwindle without careful preservation and recognition.
The Manitoba Agricultural Museum is located on 160 acres, 80 of which we actually use for the museum. We have one of the largest collections of agricultural machinery in Canada, and also an extensive collection of pioneer buildings. The mission of the museum is to collect, preserve, and interpret prairie heritage for the current generation and for future generations. And as part of that division, we have collected a lot of artifacts, not strictly farm machinery, but household artifacts, cars, trucks, vehicles of all sorts. The museum was formed in 1953. A group of farmers realized the scrap drives of the Second World War had resulted in a lot of very early farm machinery being scrapped and lost forever. As well, there was outside collectors in Manitoba buying up some very early and rare tractors, and they decided that they needed to preserve our heritage for the future. And it's from that time they began to collect machinery. The Crothers family graciously donated 20 acres of land. And we rapidly outgrew that 20 acres, and the Crothers family then graciously donated to the museum 160 acres. The museum actually uses about 80 acres for the museum, and the other 80 acres grow crops. When the museum was started, a lot of the people who came here actually knew what this machinery was, knew what these pieces were and what they meant. That generation has passed away. The younger generations that have taken their place really need to be walked through what these artifacts were, why it's important to Manitoba, the whole gamut. You need to tell them a story, and you have to blend basically education with some entertainment in a museum to hold the people's interests.
One of those storytellers is Glenn Lennox. Glenn's interest in tractors was piqued following a visit to Austin with his father when he was a young boy. He's been a part of the Agricultural Museum for decades, serving as a volunteer, interpretive guide, and board member.
First time he brought me here was actually in 1959. I was a little kid then, but I actually remember it. That was just in the early days of the museum. But I never started coming here until the 1990s. When my father retired and was able to come here and play with tractors, I came to help him out.
Glenn and I are headed back over to meet up with Alex and some museum volunteers. They've been working for some time on a surprise for us. They've managed to get an early 1900s Rumley tractor out to allow us to learn more about this technology. Getting the opportunity to ride on one of these was fun, but the volunteers had one more trick up their sleeve. They said I couldn't leave till I had the chance to drive one of these early prairie pioneers.